for PB, and they need to do just this because they just played this game yesterday. And like you said, it was not a great game from PB.
It was that was actually their worst loss, I think, all season, was that 7-3 yesterday. So, clearly not great.
Just all over them.
Yeah. IF looked extremely good on this map today. But to start out, ban from Thatcher for Parabellum. I want to see, actually, you know what? Let's just wait. Let's see if they do it on the screen. Because there is a specific operator that has been in play for literal years for PB right now in this playoffs. There it is.
That one exactly.
They ban the Finka. I don't know why there's a lot of question marks after the Finka, but that's kind of weird. But just notice that. Valkyrie for the second ban as well, expected because of how dominant not only PB are in the Valk, but common ban in general. I imagine PB will ban the Mirror because for them too, it's a very common ban. Yes, it is. So, good ban phase overall, I would say, for both these teams. Parabellum get their comforts, Thatcher and Mira. IF, they ban out the Valkyrie, which is Eska's comfort on the opposing team. And while Subarctic does play the Finka a lot, they do remove Spirits' main, who always seems to be clutch on that operator.
I'm assuming there's question marks because production's probably like, what?
We've never had to use this operator before.
What? I've never had to see you think compare. What is going on?
Get it in the sheet. Get it in the sheet.
Get the sheet. We
don't have the command for it.
First time for everything.
that was actually that was a perfect recreation of the comms that I imagined were happening in the behind the scenes. But to start things out, again, I imagine, IF are banning the Finka. Subarctic is like, oh, thank God, I can play something different. And now Spirits is like, oh my God, I can play something different. So I imagine they're both happy, actually, in their respective team chats right now. Do see a 6-pick by Subarctic to the Twitch. You recall, there's a very impactful Twitch on Kafe yesterday, but it was in the one-shot game against IF.
A certain member by the name of...
I believe it was Swaylin Lin.
Wasn't Slippery?
No, it was Swaylin. It was Swaylin who dropped a near 20 bomb on the Twitch. Of course, different teams.
It was on Kafe too, wasn't it? Actually, wasn't it?
Yes. What I was talking about. It's like the entire point I just made.
I thought you just talked about Swaylin in general, because Swaylin in general yesterday was crazy, though.
No, Swaylin hard stuck to Twitch, was perfect on it in terms of utility, and also dropped it. Anyway, that's beside the point. So the setup we're seeing here from PB, it's a cocktail defense, but we actually have a pulse Benny, not something we often see on the third floor side in particular.
Yeah, we've seen it from PB on the other sites because they work in tandem on like those roams, because having that player, Eska on the pulse downstairs and reading, giving info to the rest of his team to allow them to roam on that top floor, or to coordinate C4s, coordinate kills later on, or if you're on the bottom floor site and you can coordinate the C4 minefield we talked about the other day too. That's where we've seen the pulse a lot. But seeing on a third floor, I'm not sure quite as the same use, but at the same point, if there are a lot of repelling and you play maybe piano, maybe seeing those repels from train could help out members on PB. I don't really know per se, but I'm interested to see what PB has in store for IF here, because if I recall from the other day, IF on this site had difficulties at times, though at times they did win based on gun skill, though.
Especially against one shot, they had some difficulties in general, so IF are by no means running a perfect Kafe. By no stretch of the imagination against PB, we've yet to see how that happens. Eska's rotated all the way down to the bottom floor, by the way, so he could be spotted by IF, or he could be a major thorn in their side later on, but what we can respect so far is rapid control by IF and rapid entry into Cigar. They have taken that, but now they have to transition to Christmas, and then clearing out Pixel, which, to be fair, PB are playing some emphasis on, but not all too much. Not as much as you might think, because the shield has already been vacated. There's a player playing in Bathroom who was contemplating getting aggressive. That's Spirits. He'll instead rotate all the way back into sight. But Bathroom is full reinforced and caded as well. So, as I was about to say, you get a player with a shotgun here, and this is going to be a painful position. Arduous for IF to clear.
I actually remember back in like past cafes, they'd always put like a mute or smoke there to play that position like this, because a shotgun in the face could be the issue, but at the same point you probably need ADS if you don't have a grenade flying in your face playing in Bathroom, which is what I expect them to do next, because otherwise looks like they're not having to get rid of these electro claws on the wall. So now this forces IF into making a play. They have to start taking fights. Subarctic sees one player below, but nobody's really there to capitalize on the information. So really at this point, we need to see IF start taking fights, which they've been good at in the past. We've seen them win rounds somehow based on gun skill alone.
That is true, but right now, Benny, only 3 drones on the board for IF. Only 45 seconds left, so you're not going to be doing that much, but there's going to be a lack of intel that will be an ever-present factor contributing against IF's success. And we're also looking to push pallets. This kind of play where they just had to send it based off no intel, it sometimes worked, but sometimes didn't. And if you have a Lion, it's going to do well for spotting players, but Penguin, even with info, is going to be sitting there with a shotgun in close quarters, and you're going to have to take him out somehow. First pick does go the way of IF, and after Giddy gets that kill, Arrow repels in, but Kool-Aid's there to capitalize. They push on in from Christmas as well, but somehow Vivid has managed to work his way up, and all suddenly fall! Eska's had to rotate back up red. He's now the only one left, but 3 members, everyone in the lobby now on 1 HP or 2 to 1 bullets of health. Eska lets the bomb go down. No way he's challenging that. He does have a C4, but he's not getting that off, and he's not getting any more kills in this game so far. You mentioned that we do sometimes see IF, despite the low round count, get those kills. Benny, I think this round definitely falls under that column as an example.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. There are so many times when IF are, not so many times, but there's quite a few at least, where IF are against the wall. The disadvantage is clearly there. No intel, no control, they can't get walls open, and they still win the round. Like, what? This isn't COD. What is happening?
It's not. It is. We don't know. Honestly, it is miraculous at times how they do it. It is incredible.
I think you're talking about like TSM, how like the second coming of TSM at this point for this.
They're in the losers bracket right now. We cannot give them that label.
True.
They have to make it to at least the grand finals for them to get the baby TSM label. But even then, here's what I will say. You want to make that comparison? Still need to have a lot more successful aggression overall, because they can make those kills in the late round work, but it's still the early to mid round where that aggression is extremely difficult. And we saw from PB, they presented them with problems, but not to the same effect. They cated off all of those walls and just sat there. That's a problem, but in a different vein than somebody, say, Spirits peeking and taking a fight. That's utility you have to clear that IF simply didn't have an answer for, and that's going to be a similar problem for this raiding setup as well. There's another cave by Melted, one on the site wall, or one of the site walls, the other likely allocated upstairs to cate off either the bathroom wall or, in all probability, the freezer wall. Which,
yeah, exactly. You put it in the freezer wall right now, I think, actually, with that.
That is the
freezer wall into cocktails now, electrified. So this is going to be IF now have to go against this bunker hold right now, and it looks like there's a peek from Kool-Aid all the way down that window outside to the northwest. He's looking for a kill, but nobody's there. Nobody's peeking that window just yet. So there's no kill here for him. Now we're going to see IF. How are they going to dismantle this roam so far? What are they going to do? Try and isolate these players, or at least maybe, find peaks, or maybe push Parabellum to, make disadvantaged peaks in their own regard. Though at the same point, let's see, IF just looking around, doing the droning work, opening up these hashes to start us off. And really, it's the same kind of vein of what we saw last round, the same kind of take. But, they have at least more room to walk in a freezer this time, because they only reinforce one of those walls, not both of them.
They'll manage to find another not too difficult entry into Christmas, but if we're talking about last round, it was just everything that came after that initial entry. That was the true problem for IF. Parabellum are also not getting too in the face of them. Maybe a little bit different. Yeah, I changed my mind. Spirits instead just rotates up into Christmas. Arrow lands the opening pick, so he got Eska first, but a Thunderbird for a Yana, and that Yana's also your primary entry. You lose the Gone, the Nades, and the Gemini Replicator. That's gotta favor them, but right as Spirits jumps out, the flashbang lands right as he leaves the window and the earth. That is unfortunate timing. Wow, that is...
He jumps out when the flash still hits him. That has got to be the worst timing I've... Not maybe the worst, but still horrible timing. Penguin looking to run out as well and try and get a kill on somebody, repelling on that stage window, but nobody's there at the moment. You still see him by that white stairs entry and garage. Nobody's there. They at least cleared this point because of the kill. They've cleared Pixel. C4 comes out onto a Penguin player inside of Cigar, but unfortunately it's too short to get that kill. And he's going to use X-Kaios try and push out these players in Cocktail. And really, it's looking better for IF, but with a minute left, they still need to clear out Kool-Aid, who's playing here by himself. I think he's by himself. I'm not sure if someone's on white stairs to give him, support, but he's under siege, and he needs to try and work some kills in their favor.
Here's the nice thing, is that it's only 40 seconds left, and they've yet to get cocktail control, but I was about to say, Kool-Aid is in the worst position known to man! But a hell of a shot onto Giddy, and that's your sledge! That verticality that you need to make any attack on reading much more palatable, gone. nailed to a post by Kool-Aid, who can rotate back to site and use those yokai still on the board. Arrow's on a heater, though. His first 3 kills of the game have all happened in this round, and he's the only one IF to get any. They do have the main advantage, but now we need to see the transition. For 10 seconds, they send out the final EE1D, but not only do IF not enter, nobody from PB is spotted. Kool-Aid takes down the Lion. Vivid manages, no, not to find one. Kool-Aid somehow gets 3 for all on the board for Parabellum. 4 total in the round, I do believe, Benny. The Echo goes massive.
And it's crazy because we saw yesterday where even if IF had no time, they were able to make the play happen in the past, but it's also when Giddy's alive. We've seen on the last Cafe against Parabellum where Giddy did great work as a sledge to deal with those players on site, like Kool-Aid playing that position in reading. He was that person to play, Giddy was the person to play above his vertical and stop him from swing, stop him from playing that position. And especially the fact they still had smokes in those last seconds of the round into that red zone, into where the execute would be, and able to stop them from planting in that default plant spot, which made Vivid have to run in and go for kills. Great work from Parabellum, and unfortunately they lost Giddy early, where he was, the kind of the pillar to that take.
You gotta give all the props to Kool-Aid on that one. Masterful play. I can't even believe he survived it there for that long, in all honesty.
I don't know how he got the kill again. That was crazy.
Not only do I not know how he got that kill, I have no idea how he got away. But anyway, back on the Echo this go around. Back to Cocktail as well. Their first defensive attempt on Cafe didn't go too well in the final 15 seconds, because you mentioned that red zone. It was this attempt where IF just miraculously got all the kills. Vivid pushed up long bar, killed like everyone in the site or something like that. They won the round after that. But that's the thing, is running this exact same setup, Parabellum did waste about 2 minutes and 45 seconds with no kills in the round, basically, up until that point. So it's not like this setup was bad by any means.
No, IF was just playing spicy Call of Duty.
Yes, basically.
Because, he just jumps into heaven, so taking fights, jump down the hatch, jump down skylight, it doesn't matter. Who cares about utility? You can just shoot everybody. Easy peasy.
Work for Vivid.
Work for Vivid, did. Well, let's see how it does this time. Is last time, yeah, again, like you talked about, we sat 2 minutes watching them try and, they were able to stop Pixel. They would have pushed that player back. But other than that, there was no progress from IF. Not until finally we saw people getting the rappel on the Cocktail side and start taking fights and killing members from Parabellum. Or maybe we're just not knowing where they were, didn't know that someone was on those rappels. That was progress from IF side. So this time, are they able to get rid of the electrical? Are they able to really push out those players in Pixel, get a kill, maybe push out the player in, inside a bathroom as well? But Spirits will start us off, and never mind, there goes your Lion on Arrow, and Arrow's been doing pretty good so far.
Well, he's been doing pretty good. In terms of the utility, that is the operator that always makes those red zone attacks, those 15, 10-second attacks, actually possible for IF to win. They use that EE1D to freeze everybody, and that's usually what allows them to get a lot of those kills. So not only has Arrow had an okay game in the past couple rounds, but that utility is what helps IF a lot in the playstyle that they incorporate. Unfortunately here, they're in the same spot as they were in the first round, but in a much worse place because you don't have those EE1Ds. All this utility is still active for Parabellum, burning Gone 6s as well. Benny, it's looking like the exact same round, just even worse for IF to start.
It's again, they're in a situation where they have to play spicy Call of Duty and just frag everyone out despite not having any advantage when it comes to utility, comes to positioning. They do know someone is below, was melted. He already threw a C4 though. And Inreal looks away at what could be right now. He's just waiting. That's actually not here. There's another C4. So looks like someone else took his place. Giddy though started us off, gets Spirits, and Giddy once again on that rappel that nobody expects to get that first pick. And Eska's waiting for a cue from his team. Here goes a C4. Doesn't kill anybody.
That it does about the absolute minimum damage you could theoretically do to a person in Rainbow Six Siege. So I guess it had an impact. Not a great one though. But here's the thing. You don't need Eska to get an impact with that C4. Why? Because while it is a 4-4, we're in the exact same spot as we were previously, and IF just have to flood. This time, though, it goes dramatically against them. A 3v2 at the moment. Make that a 3v1. Penguin gone unread inside a freezer. Giddy is trapped. 15 seconds left. Sandwiched between a bomb. 3 people. Not exactly the kind of situation you want to find yourself in when you're the last one alive. Parabellum win that out. Honestly, probably should have won it the first round, too, if that's what IF had to offer. And they didn't get lucky with those kills.
Well, I guess last time the big thing was the fact that Giddy was able to take control of Heaven, which is really a big spot to take control of, too. That cuts off a lot of rotations, cuts off pretty much Cocktail in half too. So the fact that this time they weren't able to take control of Heaven, they didn't get the wall open like they did last time, and they all just kind of rushed into bar through the smoke canisters, and they smoked Freezer, so they couldn't even know where Kool-Aid was in Freezer. Yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't much to that play at that point either, because there was not a really even before that, there wasn't much of a play with different angles. Nobody else was from IF was anywhere else on the map besides in bar. So it's a shooting play at that point. You're playing a firing range. You're just trying to shoot the dummies.
Move into kitchen. See, Kool-Aid. I feel like it's gained a lot of attention in this game so far, just because of his support. Not so much of that round, but in the game so far. He's on the Maestro. This go around, Benny, this is one of those adaptations that I know you wanted to see, and I know that I want to see as well, because IF exploited this perfectly in their Cafe game yesterday. Kool-Aid would often sit in Bakery alone for a good portion of the round, and nobody pushes Bakery. It's all well and good. You don't need to worry about it. Problem is, IF would rotate Bakery. The first time that happened, Kool-Aid was caught out by himself. Of course, PB later adjusted, but given the same position, we want to see them to make sure that they don't get cocky like that. They put Kool-Aid in a position where he's not going to get taken down like that, because honestly, the round wasn't going well for IF. They get that opener, everything changed.
Definitely. It's just because he was playing, ops like Maestro, ops like Echo, which are important for that late round. So that would be, it's always unfortunate to see him die first. Ooh, great drone watching VIP. But so far, it looks like maybe PB are playing a lot more aggressive on this roam. Last time we saw them play Cafe, they would play the roam, but they would back off at a moment's pressure. Sure, they waste about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, but then they would just walk away. And that would work sometimes, but there are times that even that, but time wasted, IF would still be able to make the round work when it comes to killing, when it comes to flooding, when it comes to that end game play from them. And this actually looks like they aren't maybe even roam clearing, pushing straight for Bakery instead. And Kool-Aid this time isn't playing Bakery, so he's just playing in kind of kitchen cooking by himself for the moment. Esko playing Harry Potter though, that could be a spot that would be good for him if they don't drone him.
But playing in that position, I imagine they're probably going to send a drone. Yeah, somewhere into coat check. Eska's probably going to play there. In fact, I believe they might have a drone already sitting inside a coat check that Eska is not aware of. So that's a very good position to have. We'll finally spot the drone. But again, they know that he's playing there, and odds are he's not rotated out at this point. So player like Giddy could send a wayward nade on in, and Eska will likely have much option for recompense at that point. But instead, he'll rotate out, and Eska can take some solace and sit there for the time being. Because right now, half the round has Eclipse, and IF might not have cleared out any roam, like you said, but they've certainly made a lot of progress on the horizontal right now.
They have, but then if this vertical pressure made by Parabellum, that's also pressure just running out the front door and killing Subarctic before he pushes that booth window to help out his team and pushing out Melted, who was playing VIP. So great work from Eska to support his team. Though there still is intel on this player inside of VIP. Giddy finally going for that pressure, dealing with making sure they don't walk into that later in the round. Great job from Giddy, not expected by Penguin. Inryu elsewhere taking out Kool-Aid, the one player on site. So they have site control at this point. The player coach check is the problem though. It is Eska with the cross. He's the main player to try and stop this from happening, but he's by himself and the coverage is there. And also Giddy is already in sight to stop him too. He dropped down the hatch and freezer. It's Spirits. He does get a kill, but it's in post plant. Where is Melted to help him out? I'm assuming he's in VIP. He does get a kill on Giddy. Clears one player from kitchen service side, but Arrow's there on brown stairs to pinch him out. With another player to his left, though, it's Spirits to his left coming from white stairs. And let's go as he walks right into Spirits' angle. Great shot from Spirits. In Rio now in a 1v2 post plant, but there's only 15 seconds left to go at this point. He's got to waste another 8 or so to win this round. Spirits, I'm behind.
They got this.
Oh, pre-fires, no. He pre-fires. Does he know what it is? Inro gets the kill. Time is there.
Does he have time?
He can get time. 8 seconds, no. 6 seconds.
Oh my God.
He has 0.10 seconds
no idea.
of time there.
No. Does he?
I think he does.
Can't tell.
I think it's 6.5. Yes, it's
oh my
6.5,
God.
and he started at 6.6, I believe.
So that was a little bit close.
No, just that.
I threw my pencil. Hold on, I gotta. Just gotta be an awkward position. I have to.
Only a little bit.
I threw my pencil and it's lodged in between the wall and my table. Okay, I got it. There we go.
You were freaking out so much. You're just like, oh my God.
Literally, I put my hands up and the pencil went, boom, and threaded the needle between the monitor and my desk. So, anyways, Benny, let's take a recap of the execute of that round. Okay.
Yeah.
Minute left.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of a quick execute for IF, all things considered. They had 2 drones active at that time.
That is no intel.
2 drones. No intel. The fact that they got the bomb down and made it a 2v4 with 2 drones, that is impressive, to put it mildly.
But then PB still win the round, though.
I'm getting to that. Calm down. I'm getting to that, Benny. It's a 2v4, as we all know. With 2 drones alive, they're not going to be able to cover all these positions, like up top. That Gideon must have face-checked when he cleared and happened to win the gunfight with Penguin. So they don't know Spirits is rotating up top. He gets the kill after the bomb's on the floor. But after that, there has to be drones in key positions that they're not able to account for as Spirits and Melted rotate around the bomb site and continue to retake. And keep that in mind. Inrio almost still won that gunfight. So despite that fact, they almost hit a 4v4 execute and won the post plant with 2 drones on the board. That would have been impressive, but PB did win it in the end.
That was crazy. That was a crazy retake there, and the fact that it wasn't drones allowed for that to happen, and still crazy that you just Spirits and I think it was Spirits and Melton, I believe, who were the last ones left. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, just working together despite the man disadvantage, still able to, position themselves correctly to trade, refrag, get the kills, pinch out players on IF that were isolated from the rest of the team, and using that vertical pressure to their own was huge from PB. Also, yeah, what is happening here? Okay, so I guess we're reading in Fireplace like you would expect, and they're playing upstairs as you'd expect. But these shields are a different kind of creativity. I don't really know what's going on, but they have a shield facing towards Cigar. Not that crazy. You're playing by stage, you face Cigar, and I guess to allow you to sit in that spot, they have another shield on stage to allow you not to get shot from stage window, I'm assuming? I don't know.
They do have a Jaeger and Wamai too, so it's not like they don't have. If they didn't have a Jaeger Wamai, that would take the cake for the funniest setup I've ever seen. But they have the Jaeger, they have the magnets as well, and that is Melted playing in that position, so they can, I believe that's Melted. Might be wrong.
Yeah, no,
it's Melted.
It's the Wamai,
okay,
yeah.
just making sure. He can layer those magnets continually alongside the ones he's placed and the ADS as well. And with Eska down below to play for Intel, does know there's somebody pushing his window. Problem is, with this setup, he has the hatch to rotate off, but he's exposed for a little bit of time when he rotates back to the hatch. That shield might cover him. It just might, but I'm not sure yet. I think there might just be a little sliver where you could see him.
Depends if it gets destroyed, though. Looks like it does get destroyed, so now he's definitely susceptible to those stage windows. He's definitely in a really tight spot here, trying to stay alive. Spirits are there, at least try to cover him from bathroom. But if someone takes the stage windows and just watch for it, and they can at least like pre-fire him as he walks away, depends. Oh, he actually did dive out. He actually did get away, so that's good.
There we go.
They wasted a minute, and they still have the control upstairs on that cocktail side. So that's just a starting obstacle to further make IF waste more time. Again, good work for Parabellum. They wasted nobody on their side, just wasted utility on the side of IF.
Yeah, that was a really intriguing and well thought out setup. They have Spirits for the support. Now that Melton's rotated down, he can rotate back up to Cocktail and put all those magnets on Cocktail now that are going to continuously generate. So still stacking utility on that side as well. Spirits has taken a little bit of damage, but he's again rotated out of bathroom and fallen back. This is the nice thing so far. Wow, I actually cannot believe that Yokai has not been shot. There are like 18 people over there. And Yokais aren't invisible anymore. You could see that if you looked up on the ceiling, but that is active intel that Parabellum are getting right now that is going to help them a lot. And big problem here, Benny, 55 seconds left, and yet again, IF are not making as much progress as they should on this attack. 50 seconds left, they're finally pressuring the members on Cocktail, but it's still a 5v5.
Hey, we've seen them win these rounds, though, with Giddy alive, though. Giddy's the main player here. Some Arctic outside window does get traded out, finally, by some Spirits. But Spirits goes down in Rio because they're pushing that White Hall in that moment, given the intel happening. Giddy's going to go to work. Down goes Penguin, exactly what I was talking about. That vertical pressure is so important here, and he is the main pillar. He's low in HP, though, so he could get killed out. But with 20 seconds left to go, we've seen time and time again where IF made this execute happen with no time available. Though we see Eska pushing pillar, just standing mainstay, pushing in the pillar. He does get Giddy. Vivid trades him out, though. Plant goes down. Kool-Aid's above. He could stop the plant right here. He's got to wait for it. He knows he's there. Can he pre-fire through the bookcase? No, he can't get the kill. And down it goes. It's now a 1v2 post-plant. Does he know his player? Or is the intel available for him to try and get these kills? Inrio's already outside that northeast door. And so is Arrow just walking away, finding refuge inside of train, inside of mining. Kool-Aid has quite the task ahead of him. He doesn't know. He loses the
Yeah.
fight to Arrow. Unfortunately, IF will take that win.
That is a heartbreaking pre-fire right there. I thought he was on it.
I
I thought he
too.
was
It-
on it.
I guess you can't shoot through that bookcase. I don't know.
Maybe you can?
I
I thought you can't. I
You
don't
might
know.
have to
I don't
destroy it first. You might have to actually like blow it up
maybe.
first.
But I also remember, I mean, if we want to throw it back to another PB game, the PB aerial game when Melted was trying to shoot through that like quarter wall. I thought you
Oh,
could wall
yeah.
bang that, but that was another one where I wasn't sure if you could. A lot of things in this game that I am just not sure if you can wall bang through that. Some you think you can, some you actually can't. I don't know. Either way, that's a tough one for Kool-Aid right there. But overall, again, another example of most factors in that round were going the way of PB. Their weird setup generally works. Melted rotates over. Their normal setup in Cocktail works again. Both waste about a minute. And yet, IF managed to push in. They get those kills. They get the vertical destruction. They rotate, make it work. What you can expect from IF at this point. We also talked about earlier how PB needed to rack up these defenses because of how proficient of an attacking team both of them seem to be in history on this map. So, my worry right now is if PB rack up this final defensive round, we get a 4-2. It might seem normal, but if their attacks are as good as like they were in the one-shot game, it's worrisome for IF. Very worrisome for IF.
Could be. We could be seeing a 2-0 here, depending what happens, but one more round left. We go back to Bard and Cocktail, which so far has been, 1-for-1 for PB. Lost it once, won it once. One time they won it was due to, I would say, good gunplay, but that's not something to be relied upon, especially on a utility-focused site like this one is. As we saw in that second time, that utility was the problem, and they had to flood into Bar, which is an open field for them. It's no man's land. So this time, we need to see if they can somehow deal with utility in a better manner, or it's going to be once again that same issue.
Oscar right now is trying to deal with Giddy in a better manner than before, but no, he'll rotate off, get some drones, so all well and good there. Instead, he rotates off. You have a buck coming out from IF right now, and the Lion finds Spirits, who, not the one getting aggressive earlier like Eska was, but I imagine Spirits, based on the way he's been playing this weekend, probably was getting aggressive in a position. Ooh, actually, he was rotating down Whitehall. Arrow does like to play that window sometimes, so probably just caught him off in all likelihood. Unlucky from him. Maybe Arrow was playing it safe, or Spirits got careless. Either way, opening pick untraded. Going the way of IF, you're going to be happy about that. Now they'll feel the need to rotate back up. Arrow's rotating the Cocktail window as well. Another key position that you need to cut off on any site in general on Cafe, especially the second or third floor. So, overall, good start. Can't complain from IF.
No, can't complain, but with the buck in play, at least now IF is changing up their play, because we've seen them play so often without the buck. And it looks like they're trying to grenade this yokai from the top of the cigar cubby, but won't go in that play. There's two players at piano peeking Inrio, and Inrio take both of them out. And he does. Well, Arrow actually goes elsewhere, is dead. There goes Inrio, and Penguin just pushes up and gets that kill. And I thought it was going to be a Cocktail push with the buck in play, but they're still going for piano. And it's PB at this point to get aggressive. In that point, Penguin's dead.
Melted's still contemplating a peek onto that window. He's certainly looking at it, so I guess he's not contemplating it. He's still doing it, but he's rotated off behind the pixel shield. Good play, 3v3. You don't need to get as aggressive right now. Let IF catch up and see what they're going to do. It's going to be a play inside a cigar in all likelihood, but still plenty of time to decide if they want to do something different. Giddy has also one more frag grenade left, so if he wants to chuck one inside a freezer, that's where Eska is currently playing. Might be an ADS there, not entirely sure, but if there's not, could get a pick that levels it to a 3v2. It makes pushing the site a lot easier. One will rotate over. That's Giddy, I believe, onto the Cocktail balcony. Ready for the repel in all likelihood. Somebody's going to push in the site, maybe Vivid and Subarctic in tandem, and Giddy will repel the moment presents itself. Subarctic also on the skylight. He drops. Giddy goes in soon after, but Subarctic and both Vivid and Subarctic walk directly into Kool-Aid Spray, and now Giddy is the only one left on Cocktail balcony. A C4 doesn't kill him, but it does stop him from moving forward and allows Kool-Aid to get his triple on the round. Could have been a big play there, but instead, everyone just died to Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I would say, unfortunately, that round was just, again, IF not able to deal with utility game. Sure, they get the first pick. Arrow watching that Whitehall window. But after that, they had no progress on dealing with utility and piano, which they were going for despite the buck in play. And at that point, seeing as they had no time left to really make that happen, they rotate over to Cocktail. They try to make that same play that worked the first time, which was Giddy getting into heaven, getting into that Cocktail balcony, and getting kills while the rest of his members push different angles, was the play before. But this time, Kool-Aid stops the other push from happening, murders both of them, and then murders Giddy as well.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Now we have the side swap. And we will see if my analysis proves true, or my prediction proves true, that the defensive rounds on Kafe will actually be the most impactful ones. Of course, IF's defenses are certainly good. There's no arguing about that. A very good defensive team on any map in general. It was their attacks for a long time that were the big problem. But if Parabellum's attacks on Kafe are like the ones in the one-shot game, this might be a very quick game, and we could all go home a couple hours earlier than we all anticipated for their lineup for Parabellum. It's nothing too crazy, but again, we're not seeing Penguin on that entry, CJ. We're seeing him. He was on Hibana earlier, which you could entry late. Now on Nomad again. Maybe it's another situation where he's playing it for the utility, and then he can entry later on after he's played all that utility. That'd be my guess, but we saw him on the Zofia for quite a long time in the regular season. Not on that role anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see the role swaps kind of mid, playoffs from the side of Parabellum. Which, hey, if they're practicing it and they're ready for it, it's not much of a crazy thing. But it's definitely something we didn't expect here from Parabellum. We'll see how this attack goes so far. We're on that top floor once again from the defense. This time it's from IF, though not from PB. And again, it's that same kind of putting all of your baskets into stopping from pushing piano. Make sure they can't push in a freezer. We'll see how Parabellum is able to defuse that, how they're able to stop IF from, stopping them at the same point. Though there is also a setup downstairs inside of Reading. Maybe they're expecting a cocktail take because, PB does like to change things up. You see there, Inrio running around instead of Reading by himself. But since he got the calls from the rest of his team that they're not going for downstairs, looks like he's going to rotate over to Red for the moment. The first kill goes to Melted there on a Subarctic.
Might as well. Not the kind of operator on a cocktail defense that, of course, has a pixel shield, because of course it does. And you want to lose early. All those magnets, all that additional time that likely would have been wasted as a result of his presence, no longer a factor. Ooh, made even worse by Eska getting Giddy. One of the top performers in this map so far. A C4 as well. He's playing that Cade. Cade has been a comfort op for Giddy in this game so far, in the series, this playoffs so far, in fact. Been doing well this game, but without that C4 and without his positioning either, man advantage dominantly in the favor of Parabellum, 5v3. I would not be surprised, Benny, if we're talking over the execute in 20 seconds or so.
He might be, yeah. Seriously, at this point, they have the man advantage.
Oh.
Inrio has a chance to flank, but the question is, with the Nomad on board and the amount of drones, there's only 4 drones, so maybe they don't have a drone available to flank drone, but they still have the Nomad on board. They still have the air jab to stop a push. Oh, there is a drone on red stairs, so Inrio would not be wise, though I don't know if he knows even that they have the intel, to go up those stairs. Now at this point, Spirit's pushing forward. His presence have been known because of that, and Penguin elsewhere kills Inrio anyway to stop that flank. Vivi gets pushed off, shotgun Penguin off the rappel, but it doesn't matter because he's got 2 members from PB barreling down at him from behind, and it's PB on match point.
I actually can't believe Penguin got that kill there. It's close to match point, Benny.
Close to match point.
It is close match point. Not there yet, though. Good round for Parabellum to start things out. I mean, you can't really criticize. Melted somehow manages to kill the Pixel player in the first minute. I would imagine Subarctic was getting aggressive there, because I think, Benny, correct me if I'm wrong, he was on one of the Christmas windows, right? He was on that rappel?
Yeah, he was
pretty sure.
Window, yeah.
So yeah, like the only way he's getting that kill, because the shield was still up, Subarctic had to have peeked. Melted takes him down. Good capitalization. Eska also gets a kill on Nagiti. I'm not sure where that one was. Might have been in Freezer that Eska spotted, maybe playing on the Skylight. I'm not too sure on that one. But they get that 5v3, the 5v2 as well, thanks to Penguin playing on the cocktail window. Really, PB, they had their angles, and members of IF seemed to peek or rotate in front of them. They cut them down. That's what you want. Not necessarily getting aggressive, but playing those positions, and pays dividends in the end. Thumbs up.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of times where that happens, where members of the defense just get caught off from rotates, caught off positions where they're not expecting the attack to be on. And in the end, it just gives that snowball effect, allows for the attacking team to get that step in the door, push their way through, and get those rounds. And that round was very important, though, because IF need to bring it back now. They're on the defense here, and they need to close it out, at least close out the distance, and try and tie it up.
Benny.
Oh, what's up?
Penguin's on Montaigne again.
Hey, hopefully this time he's getting the shot in the ass.
I mean, that'd be good.
Would be good. Well, with the Montana board, they might have an easier time dealing with this bakery hold.
Yeah, but in theory, they could have had a better time dealing with the freezer hold. And again, we saw how well that worked.
Sure, you're not wrong.
I like to think I make a good argument every now and then.
You make a decent argument there.
Here's the thing, though, right? It is still true, though. They could have an easier time dealing with that bakery hold. You can see what he's doing right now. Open up this window. Probably not going to jump in through there, but just, like, keep an eye out. See what's going on. Or, of course, he could jump through that window. We're actually seeing some, yeah, smoke sent out to cover the X-Kairos. That's nice. Giddy, I think, actually still hit one through the smoke. So, impressive from him. They still get the wall open to deny the player playing inside a bakery. That's the big part. Subarctic has that unfortunate position he has to hold right now. He's layering magnets. He has that deployable shield and a rotate hole back into sight. And honestly, with 1 HP right now, I'd also rotate back in right now.
I'd
Good
walk
play.
away. Oh, he's gonna let reinforce. Can he get it off with it? Yes, he can.
No
Penguin
way.
tries
No
to kill
shot.
him in that moment. He gets it off though. Late reinforcements up. He's able to back off into sight. Low HP though, but still, he works his way through, and he signifies versus team that this is a bakery push so far. That electric claw late in the round has stopped them from opening up that wall. Now if the CPB somehow destroy electric claw, either way it be a grenade from small bakery, from red hall, from prep, or from above. Which I don't know if from this point if IF even is roaming. They don't usually roam. They're not a roam heavy team on any map really.
They do every now and then. We've seen them do it to some success. Bank was a big one yesterday, but again, their side play is pretty well renowned. And well, you just saw Vivid smoke dumpster Kool-Aid in the moment he entered the site, so it's kind of why their on-site play can be pretty good sometimes. As a diffuser as well, also the top performer for Parabellum, and now they have to rotate in from the other direction. Giddy, nasty shot onto Vivid, who knifed Penguin on the Monty, by the way. Problem is, with that kill, it's now a 2v2, and Inrio and Arrow are separated at the moment. Actually, no, they're not. They're both inside a long bar. That means the site is free. Spirits can plant the bomb if he wants, and all they need to do is defend. But no, Arrow has a yokai in position. Inrio can also capitalize off of a stun onto Melted at the time being, but Melted is ready for it. He watches Inrio on the jump in. Arrow's got to get back on the yokai, get this bomb down, but no, he can't. He switches to it at the exact wrong time. He pops up on the wrong yokai, and Spirits hits him from all the way downtown to get match point for Parabellum.
Wow, that was that was a crazy round. That was just the fact that you had that bakery hold at first that Subarctic gets away from, first of all. They use the Monty to push in. They use the smokes to hide the X-Gyro so they still can open up that angle to push, which you do double angles on Subarctic. He has to push off back into sight, late reinforce, and they push on the site. Vivi gets that first pick to deny Kool-Aid from walking in, drops the diffuser inside of sight. But the rest of the members from IF weren't really by it. They were still playing coach check, still playing inside of VIP. So that's where they start to push next. PB pushes that Monty into coach check. You saw that entire engagement. That was crazy. 2 members pushing into coach check. They both get killed, but during that engagement, Giddy kills Vivid, unfortunately, because it's just pre-firing the Monty because they didn't know he knifed him, and he kills his teammate, unfortunately. Makes it a 2v2, but the problem is the last 2 members on IF aren't on the site. They're roaming towards VIP. They're roaming horizontally off site, which gives Parabellum that ability to plant the diffuser. And even though they did intel on the player inside of Kochek, who was covering him, one player is droning from, one player is pushing. It's still 1v1.
I thought the 6 pick to the Monty would be a one-off, like it was on Oregon for Penguin. But maybe because it's successful now, he's like, hey,
10 seconds to go.
let's try it again. Problem here is it's on reading, and Benny, I think you can agree with me. Jameson, that's a bit delayed. Don't need to say that Kool-Aid. It's the next round. Don't trash talk the previous one. The problem here, Benny, is if they're using that Monty, it depends on where they're attacking from, but let's say they clear out that top floor. You got 2 C4s for IF right now. One, or if not both of them, are going to be below. They can play for that Verdant. Monty's not exactly the fastest moving up with his shield extended. They could easily get a C4 on him.
I definitely agree. Like, those C4s could prove to be a big factor in stopping them from playing. But it really depends on if they still go for this roam clear with Monty, because with Monty on board, they could try to just push on the site as well. Maybe if they want to just circumvent the roam, maybe? But it depends. Let's see here. Let's see what happens here with the C4s. And if it looks like, yeah, they are actually roam clearing, so maybe those C4s will be a big factor here. And it'll be up to PB to really figure out a way to bait them out, because, if you're going from above, not only is Penguin at risk, but Eska as well. Eska's the big part here. We've seen not only Eska like that, just Sledge in general, having that soft breach for this site is pretty much, not say mandatory, but really a lot of times it's required, it's needed. You need that soft destruction to push those players on site off, or to just kill them outright. You know,
Well, thankfully for IF, they will manage to land the opening pick onto Kool-Aid. 2 rounds in a row, I do believe. First time it was Vivid, now it is in Rio. But same guy at the end. Though, here's the problem. You might have got Kool-Aid. You don't have Penguin, who's currently just slowly and patiently pushing the defense back right into Eska, currently on the cocktail rappel. Uruni prones on the hatch, maybe to try to get down a little bit later. That's exactly what happens, and a great C4 by Vivid onto Eska on that rappel. Finally, PB answer back with a kill onto Inrio, but they've cleared out cocktail. Benny, we still have a minute 20 seconds left. They have so much time to execute.
there's no soft breach though. They have hard breach. Well, they have soft breach charges to start making that vertical play, but they don't have that dedicated soft breach to really pressure those players on site. But then again, if they put those soft breaches in the right places and stop people from, like, you know, like Subarctic, like Vivid, from playing on site. And the question is there a C4 still available? From the looks of it, there's no C4 available for that play, but so Penguin walks in site and they have control top floor. He walks in, covers the planter, they get it down. As long as they've covered their bases on flanks and, you know, there's no C4s available, this could steal around for PB, even if they are the man disadvantage and they have the time available. Elton's going to work on the floor, trying to find things out. Penguin coming down white stairs, looking for people, and he finds one, gets shots in the ass.
Yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate thing right there, is I see what Penguin was going for, but he's walking down white with players in sight, one player on white stairs itself. In reality, it was actually Penguin and Spirits who got pinched, and they didn't even realize it. Melted, the last one to die. I mean, that was I would say a sorry round for Parabellum. They are on match point. But really? That was pretty not great from them throughout. They cleared out Cocktail quickly, but again, it's just, I feel like they just got a little bit cocky there. They clear.
Yeah, it's like when I talked about the day when they pushed those players inside of on bank and kitchen. They had a choice to not do that. Like just right now, they had a choice not to push the players on white and, you know, go and try and plant and reading, you know, knowing if they knew there was no C4s left, or if they could like deny the C4s and they deny the flanks, they could still make it happen. Like, sure, they're a man down. It's a 4v3, but with a Monty on board, this could allow for that plan to happen. I don't know. It's maybe I'm just a caster. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just thought that at least.
You made that clear yesterday. I tried to give you the title of analyst, and you ardently refused it.
No, that's Connor and CJ's job. They do it perfectly.
Okay, it's fine. I'm literally the child of 2 lawyers, and you are arguing definitions more than they would. Totally not. Totally. Anyway.
At least trying to be nice. I'm just denying all his kindness.
It's really a problem with this man. Prickly is how you could define Benny. Anyway. Cocktail. Start things out. See, Spirits rotate to the Maverick. This is an operator normally we feel like we've seen Kool-Aid on frequently, but he's on the Hibana. And it's not certainly a bad operator for Spirits. You got the M4, good gun, got nades as well. Plus, for Cocktail specifically, you don't have to do as much hard breaching with Maverick in particular as you do for other sites. Plus, there's also no hard breach denial for IF, so you actually, unless Kool-Aid dies, you don't really need the Maverick. Or the hard breaching gadget specifically, I will say.
Well, I guess maybe you just need the nades and they just want to bring, they don't think anymore.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying, at least in terms of hard breaching in particular, actually might not be the most impactful part for Spirits.
It really isn't. I'm assuming they're just picking because Fink is off the board.
Imagine Penguin is just like, hey, Spirits, just pick whatever op you're feeling and go for it.
Yeah, just find an op with grenades and just go for it. Just pick one, any of them. It's like, all right, I'll pick Maverick. Let's just go with it. Screw it. But we're on to a bar and cocktail defense once again from IF, and last time it was PB to win it out though. Great shots again, getting that first pick of the person Pixel, getting kills elsewhere, getting the control they need, barreling into the site. Like, it's just a lot better utility wise, and getting those early picks was pretty great round from. It was an expected round from PB, but that grenade comes down, and this is the part of utility, getting rid of those Vulcan shields, and they already unfortunately couldn't deal with the one in freezer to start off.
That is a little bit problematic for PB right now. That nade wasted. Of course, Eska throws a second. believe it exploded, and that actually, I don't think I heard the Goyo shield explosion, so it might still be alive in Freezer right now. I'm not too sure. Maybe we can check later on, but this is a little bit problematic. Subarctic almost gives his life away again inside of Pixel, but thankfully, on 1 HP, he recovers and rotates back into Bathroom, and it's actually Arrow to get the opening duel onto Spirits, but there's Eska, who almost gets the trade, instead puts Giddy to 1 HP as well.
Unfortunately, able to trade, just putting member after member of IF low on HP. Smoke cannons come out. That shield is still there. You were correct. They couldn't destroy that shield. Allows for the smoke of Vivid to sit inside a freezer, throw those smoke canisters between Cigar and Piano, and make it difficult for these members of PB to push into Piano and, take that control that they need. So at this point, with a minute left to go, Eska gets jumped out on, or ran out from Inrio from below. Melted at least will take out Giddy on sight, but he's already low on HP. Penguin elsewhere takes out Arrow, so actually he's in sight. There's someone laying down next to him.
They just don't know that Vivid is prone below the bar right now, but he vaults over and it doesn't matter in the end. Right now, okay, it is a 1v2. Kool-Aid inside of sight. He already has clutched a 1v3 so far, so surely he can do this. Subarctic on 1 HP as well. Kool-Aid with 35 seconds left has worked his way into Freezer. Do IF know his position? That is the question. Right now, Subarctic is the one most aggressing him, but I changed my mind. Kool-Aid instead is pushing Inrio, who rotates back down. Here's the barbed wire. Kool-Aid vaults, puts himself into a bit of a vulnerable position, tags up Inrio. Can he land the shots? No, he cannot. Inrio lands those in the end. IF stave off defeat for 1 more round, and if they win 2 more, we have overtime.
Almost there. We're almost there for IF. These last 2 rounds, they've really started to change up their takes, change up how they play, and they're figuring out. There's also been some mistakes from PB, especially in terms of last round in terms of utility-wise. They could not destroy the shields they needed to, losing members to some aggression from IF that you wouldn't expect. And that's kind of the big thing. PB are trying to do that early game, trying to get rid of this utility. And while they're doing it, they're, 1, making mistakes, unfortunately, and 2, IF are jumping on them when they're not expecting it. And it's just time after time so far in the last 2 rounds. PB been losing those fights when they're not expecting it. So let's see how this far. We go back to Kitchen Service Kitchen Cooking for another try. And last time it was that, that bakery take, getting that plant down. Oh
no. Oh no, Benny.
Oh, a Legion too. What was the last time we saw Legion?
We actually have not seen Legion in a while. I feel like we actually did see it at least once recently, but we don't see him that often anymore. Giddy 6-pick for context from his Comfort of the Cade to Legion, which, in all fairness, I want to charitably think about this 6-pick. It's not bad by any means, but I'm going to charitably think about it.
Maybe it was a response to Monty?
Maybe, because they are going kitchen, so it might be in response to that, but at the same time, Parabellum, we're likely going to push as the Ying maybe quickly. You have a goo mine, that's going to heavily stop what could be a rush or a fast execute.
True. They could still, those goo mines still could come in handy for a rush execute in PB, because right at this point, they want to end the game. IF are slowly and surely bringing these rounds back. So I'm thinking at PB at this point, they want to rush, they want to just get things over with.
Definitely
just want to push their way through. But maybe that's a mistake here, because IF, I don't know, at some point it depends, because IF doesn't roam though. They all stay on site, because you're not really bypassing anything if you rush.
Yeah. I think it's actually a really good point, because as you said, IF on Cafe, at least from what we've seen in the game so far, have not been big on roaming, so a rush would not be the most advised thing to do, and that's exactly what PB are doing. They're like, hey, we recognize that IF, you like to maybe play in code check, but beyond that, you like to sit inside the site. Okay, let's clear out the map. Let's take this slow. Let's not barrel on through doorways. Play our game and play it standard. And as you can see right here, that hatch is even reinforced. One issue, because you've 6-picked off that Cade, you don't have the Electroclaw to keep Freezer Hatch solid for a little bit longer. You have those goo mines, which I will say could still be useful when the X-Cube comes out, whether it's soon or later. But not having that Cade means that a lot of what PB needed to clear no longer a factor whatsoever.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Like, it's just, they're going to open these hatches, they're going to go to work. There's no roam from them, so they're just going to go to work with the minimum amount of time. They've only wasted a minute and 10 seconds, and they've gained control. They have the Nomad to stop any flanks, well, in the mid-round or late game, depending on what happens. So far, those goo mines could help if they drop Freezer into a goo mine, and they slow them down and allow for the person in a VIP to have an effect on them dropping down. Could prove really particularly helpful for the player in VIP, which is in Rio for the moment. But otherwise, it looks like they spot Yokais too, so this droning is important though, because the Yokais especially when it comes to a drop down, freezer hatch and going for a plant and bunker. Those yokais are usually the end, or not end of it, but they usually do stop a lot of players because you hide them in those compartments. You hide them in their flash come out Vivids being pushed out of the area. But so far, it's just, again, PB trying to work something, and they do get Vivid. Great job. Smoke was a big one. Vivid's been a wall on site every single round.
Was a little bit worried based on the missed timing between that flash and that nade, which the ADS ended up catching the latter, but they get him on the retreat, and that's what you need. But as you said, now that the smoke is gone, Arrow was already important on the Yokais, but he's going to be probably the most important defender right now, or second, to Giddy, who is aggressing on that second floor, who got a kill on Eska on the sledge, but Inrio rotates directly into the Candelas, and while all of that is happening, Spirits has dropped into Freezer, making his way through. Doesn't spot anybody just yet. It's Kool-Aid to get the second kill, but Sabartic retakes the angle in red, cuts down the Ying. No more Candelas, and Enrio can actually survive inside of the IP. His shield destroyed, him put on lower HP. He's likely not going to take this fight, and all he'll have to do is waste time, maybe get one cheeky kill. Doesn't even manage to get one. Penguin shuts him down, keeps him on the floor. But now they have to decide, do they want to go for the plant? Arrow's evened it up 2-2, but he's taken down. It's all left up to Sabartic. He clutched a 1v2 against PB yesterday, but Penguin's on the coverage. Is he looking the right way? No, he looks at the wrong way at the exact wrong time, but it doesn't matter in the end. They redeemed themselves from before. They continue their lower bracket run. PB eliminate IF from Challenger League, or the playoffs, I suppose.
What a game from PB. I was talking about seeing how they changed up the strats, what their strat book was like in this rematch against IF, and they show us what they can do, because this is low bracket. They need to pull out all the stops to prevent themselves being kicked out. It showed us just that. Unfortunately, IF out of playoffs, out of the tournament, out of the bracket. They even kicked out, but they proved quite a lot in this matchup. And